This morning I want to share with you an important message. You can do hard things. All of you watching, whether we know each other well or I haven't had the chance to meet you yet, I know this to be true for each and every one of you. You can do hard things. Do you know how I know this? How I can be so sure? I know this to be true for each and every one of you because I know who made you. God. And I know that God made you in His image, not with the same ears or nose as God, but as a reflection of who God is. And so I thought that we could use this egg this morning as a good way to remember that we are stronger than we think and we can do hard things. And so I'm going to balance this raw egg here while we talk about things that put pressure on our life, that might discourage us or cause us to doubt our ability. When I say you're stronger than you think you are, I don't really mean about your muscles. I'm talking about your inner strength, your perseverance. So let's start with something that we are all experiencing. Though each of our experiences is different, we are all in the midst of another lockdown from this pandemic that has lasted way longer than any of us thought. It's been over a year, and some haven't returned to their classrooms to go to school, and some haven't seen their grandparents or their aunts or their uncles or their cousins for over a year. Some people's parents haven't been working for long periods of time. However you are experiencing this pandemic, I think that we can all agree that sometimes it feels like a heavy weight is being put on us. Maybe you're thinking, I can't do this, about something to do with the pandemic. There are lots of things that can cause us to think, I can't do it. It's just too hard. Maybe you're having a hard time with kids at school, your friends or your classmates. Maybe you feel like you can't make friends, or that you can't go to school because you don't have any friends. Maybe school is really tough. Maybe you're learning something new and you're having a hard time understanding it. Or maybe learning isn't easy for you, or you learn differently from your friends and your classmates. Maybe you're thinking, I can't do this, about something at school. There are so many things in life that we face that are hard. Right as soon as we are babies, we are faced with challenges to overcome. It's hard to learn how to walk. It's hard to learn how to talk. It's hard to learn how to swim or to read, to feed yourself without spilling. It's hard to ride a two-wheeler. It's hard to learn how to drive. There are things that are hard to do, and there are things that are hard to experience. There are so many things that might cause us to say, I can't. Who is surprised by the weight that this egg is holding? It's almost 30 pounds. When the Apostle Paul was in jail, he wrote letters to encourage others. Can you believe it? Sitting in jail, and Paul is trying to lift the spirits of people who are new to understanding God's great love through Jesus. And as part of his encouragement, he wrote some words that maybe you have heard before. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, this verse that Paul writes isn't supposed to convince you that you can lift really heavy weights or win every single game or get everything right as long as you call on Jesus for strength. And it isn't supposed to trick you into thinking that nothing bad will ever happen to you or that you won't make mistakes or fail sometimes. I mean, after all, Paul is writing from prison, so he knows that bad stuff can happen. God never promised an easy life, but he did make other promises. Promises that we can remember when things are hard. What Paul's words remind us is that through everything, hard times and happy times, God is with us. God will never abandon us. He will never stop loving us. Paul wants us to remember that we can find joy and contentment in our lives even while we are struggling. And during our struggles, instead of giving up and claiming it's too hard, we can turn to God for strength, for comfort, for wisdom, guidance, perseverance. The next time you find yourself saying, I can't, the next time you find yourself getting frustrated or discouraged, think of all of this weight sitting on top of this egg and remember, you are stronger than you think. What you are struggling with might be hard, but you are not alone. God is with you. You can do all things, the good things, the hard things, the easy things, the fun things, the boring things, the successful things, the failing things. You can do all things through God, and your strength comes from God. So don't be discouraged. Don't give up. Find joy in the small moments. Look for God's comfort and His support for your struggle. And remember that you can do hard things.